So I'll do the same little grasses once again with a bit of a darker color so that you can see, but essentially just a little straight line, okay? Maybe a couple of arching grasses that come over top. And on these straight ones, we start from the point and come down like this. Just go in alternating sides. Takes a little bit of control. It's just a quick little motion. And it just gives, again, a little bit of life in the painting, the different feel that something is happening other than just the bamboo stock, which can be a little bit dull or boring. In order to do the rock, and I'll do another one just over here so that you can get a better sense of what they look like. With a very dry brush, you can see it's really quite dry on my hand. I'm just going to pull down, and here I've got a stroke in one side, but what I'd like to do is not come down in successive strokes. This is very nice for a waterfall, but not so interesting for a rock. We want to create different planes and go in different directions so we have a different sense that the rock has a little bit of a rock face to it. The other thing is we don't want our rock to end in a straight line at the bottom like you see here. It's important to have, very few rocks are like that. You want to have them in different orientation or just having a different foot. Okay? Once all of that is done, and again this is just a little bit rounded, more round than I'd like it to be. I was doing that to just give you a sense of what you can do. You can come in again with a very dry brush and put in a few of these, what they're called is me-dots. The same technique is used with mountains, and then it just gives a little bit more emphasis and a little bit more difference. So we have the dry brush technique. Some of these little dots here at the bottom, usually they start in the plane, not in the middle of the rock. And then if you want later on with a wet brush of a lighter color, you can come along and put some of these shadows here to give you a little bit of a feeling of grounding on the base of the rock. Okay, this is quite a wet brush now, so in order to make it a little drier, I want to remove quite a bit of moisture from the brush. Okay, I'm just doing that with my hands. Sometimes you can use an old paper towel if you want, but basically the brush, I'm doing this to just give you a real sense of the moisture, should be fairly dry. And can you see there that that's not quite as wet as it was before? So now I'm going to dip it in to the sumi, and here you can see I've got a dry brush with a little bit of the color here at the end, and now I can add a few more of these little grasses and have them cascading from different points, maybe coming up here from the bottom. So this gives, this is often very commonly seen in orchid paintings, but it just gives a little bit of variety and ornamentation. So again, the most important thing with your bamboo painting is to have little puddles horizontally laying your brush down to have a little bit of shade, maybe a few rocks, and they don't have to be enormous or massive, but just gives a little bit of interest. These simple, straight, arching grasses, like you see here, and some of these ones that have these little leaves that come out on either side. Maybe another rock that's a bit more intense in color, and just some of these different grasses. Now, one of the things that people in the West have great difficulties with is symmetry. Here we see almost an even spacing between each of these different segments. We want to break that up. So very important to kind of give something different, to strengthen one of those groupings, because symmetry is really not desired in East Asian painting. Okay, so just a little bit of detail adds a lot more life in your bamboo painting, and that's something that you can do fairly easily with a little bit of practice.